Right, guys, we're going to look at the pastures in the drought and see how we failed miserably at pasture management, or did we? Promo code Stevens at the National Strip Till Conference website gets you a discount on your tickets. And I'm going to be there. We're going to have a fun classroom discussion. No keynote speaker thing. I enjoy the classrooms and the more personal type stuff. And we're going to have a fun discussion of how we're utilizing strip till along with cattle and crop rotations to help bring back or build fertility in these soils and bring these soils back into shape. We've taken over a lot of old hay fields and old farm fields that they're pretty low on fertility. Our soil's naturally low on fertility. We're in a tough environment. And so the cattle along with the strip till and crop rotation. So it'd be a fun 40 minutes. I guarantee that 40 minutes is going to be over and you're going to feel like it was only 2.5 hours. And so it's just going to fly by. And so, yeah, check that out. The cover crops, the clover here, the clover. We're in a clover field. I'm going to spin you around. We're in the bottom part where they started grazing, then we'll go up the hill and see how they're progressing. Down here, we had them down here, and there's a hot wire running along there so the cows can come down. They can get to their scratching brush if they need to. We can still bring them to the working facility, and we're monitoring right now. So you can see, you can almost see, I don't know if it's showing up on camera, if I zoom in, but you can see the grain or the drill rows for the clover. So the young clover starting to come back. Clover grows quite a bit different than alfalfa. Alfalfa, you know, first crop can be getting big and second crop will start coming up through. Where clover, it needs this old growth to get knocked down. And so they came in, they ate, they trampled, we moved them. So we got tons of ground cover, tons of residue to work with our soil and our soil life. And you can see the new stuff coming up through. If I can find a cow patty with it, you should see the cow patties loaded with clover seed. I will never have to buy another bag of clover for the rest of my life. And so since we're opening with strip till, one thing, let me turn you out of the wind. Another cool thing, I'll get to strip till in a second, but I learned that these are all dung beetle holes, and the dung beetles help control flies. And then obviously they carry that nutrients into the soil. So that's my question to Marion Calmer when he starts talking about stratification and that kind of malarkey. I keep asking him, how many worms per square foot do you got? How many cattles do you have per square foot? And how much dung beetle and other big life do you have? Because if you had a lot of bugs, even conventional tilled soil is going to have layered nutrients. You're going to have stratification like that. But that's a different conversation. The strip till part of it is, think about this soil in a couple years. One, the simple thing is the nitrogen credit. But in our soil, think of the compaction fighting, the water infiltration, the reduced erosion, and then coming in here in a couple years and strip tilling in here and just having a stupendous corn crop and take advantage of this. And then, you know, do like a corn on corn, beans, wheat, back to hay kind of thing. And man, oh man. So what we're monitoring is now they're laying in the second stage, and behind them is the third stage, we'll call it. And so what we're going to do is monitor. Look at it, even eating the thistles. Isn't that something? They're even eating the thistles. No water hemp out here, no palmer, there's no noxious weed. Ragweed, you don't see any tall ragweed, do you? The calves eat it. I don't understand why they eat it. To me, it looks like a horrible plant. It probably tastes sour to me, but them calves love eating ragweed. Don't know why. So we're monitoring them. So if they start spending too much time down here on the new growth and not cleaning up the other bay, then we'll shut them off to the new growth and force them to clean up some of the older stuff, giving this stuff more time to come back and grow. So I'll pause till we get up there. So this bay is a little bit behind that one. This was the next spot they went to. They still got, we haven't moved our water yet, so we still got our water, mineral, apple cider vinegar is by the shades there. So they go to that same spot for right now, because we're not really sure with the drought. We weren't really sure the best way to do this. I think the best way is if we had our water and everything mobile. The best thing we probably could have done was on the grass pasture is just moved them daily across that pasture and picked however many days, you know, from whatever. So then at like May, you know, the end of May, when the clover started to mature a little bit, we could have brought them over here and just figured out how to move them 30 days to 40 days to get them from one end of the field to the other, or whatever pace they would have eaten. And then that would have gave the first pasture more time to come back, except with no rain. That pasture's not doing nothing. That pasture's not doing anything. And so we just left it open. We let them wander and graze as need be. And so now on this one, we're going to start managing a little bit better to try to utilize it a little more, get more days per acre, so to speak. And we're going to get better every year, but every year is different. So I don't know the exact right or wrong way to do it, but this is how we did it. They sure love this corner. I don't know why they love this spot, but they sure love this spot. When it's hotter, now that they've got access up here, they'll be up by the woods. So we're about a third of the way up the field. You got an easy, well, you got almost a third of a mile, somewhere between a quarter and a half a mile to them trees over that hill. So the hotter days, they love laying along the tree line. So this has only been opened up for several days. A lot of trampling down in this corner, but it's pretty neat to watch how they will actually clean this up some. And so the goal is to try to manage this now. We got good wreath growth started. Can we make them clean it up? There is so much feed here. I will leave them out here till they start bawling. There is no reason that an animal will be hungry out here, because they can clean it up some. And so, yeah, so if we need to, I have a feeling, like we said, we know that that's going to start regrowing and they're going to start heading down there more. But it's kind of interesting to watch them come out, because they'll come out by the shades and they'll start graze across that ragweed patch and grass patch. That's kind of it's not a swamp, it's where water collects. I'm going to moldboard that up and fix that up. But they'll graze across that lamb's or ragweed, and then they'll kind of graze across this bay to this corner. Then they come up in here, then they come back down, lay down, then they come back up in here. And it's just very interesting to watch them come through, because this stuff here, you know, they'll grab a mouthful and lift, homp, and oh boy, it's kind of fun. I will tell you, in a drought year, I think alfalfa would have a good, healthy, established alfalfa would have to be about the best grazing you could have. Them grasses are junk. Anybody tells you need grasses for grazing, nah, maybe in some other state, but here you can't beat alfalfa for grazing, because we didn't even manage this pasture last year, and that alfalfa had that herd on it from April 1st to July 14th. And on July 21st or whatever, we still made 3 silage bales. So we had a normal hay crop a week after pulling them cows off of that field. That is a wonderful pasture. So the goal then next year is to get that pastured in, and the 30 behind the barn fenced in, and then we've got all 5 fields made for pasture to keep moving forward on our rotation and our plans. If we look under here, we can still see corn from the other year. It seems a little dry, but there actually is moisture right there. And so you can see that the color of the soil is already changing at about 3/4 of an inch, which is pretty cool. Anything they don't eat, there you go. Look at all the clover seed. Ha ha! Ha ha! Man, ew, gross. Let me lick it off. Yum. It'll be interesting to see how them coarse stems that they're not eating melt back into the soil, and in a couple years what this soil really becomes, what it really becomes. And so I don't know, I'm going to keep this fairly short, and we're going to end it right there because I don't know what more to say, because with the year we've had with the rain, I don't know what to do next other than to just keep monitoring stuff and adjusting and kind of, you know, being fluid, adjust and adapt as we go, because we don't know. So, and you don't know what you do know, and don't know what you don't know until you find out how much you really do know. Yeah, and so we're just kind of playing it by ear and trying to figure this thing out, how to get through this year. At least with alfalfa and the clover on the other side, one more cutting, we'll have hay for the winter. So we'll almost make it, even though it's a drought year. We'll almost make it a success for the cows. Look at number 11 right there. That white face, she is ready for show. She is ready for the county fair, and that's what she normally looks like on the pasture. The wife will not allow a dirty rump. You don't see a dirty rump out here. She will not allow it. If anybody gets a dirty rump, she comes up with her comb and she cleans them. Yes. But yeah, number 11, boy, look at that. Not too big, not obese like number 12 or 7 there. Jeez. That thing, holy crap. Yeah, that is a good 4-H cow right there. Traditional 4-H, not these goofy club looking Scottish terrier puppy looking cows. Like a real cow. That's just a great from the farm cow. Yeah. Oh, 19. So there we go. We'll have a lot of videos coming up, because fairly soon, in the next several weeks, we got to vaccinate, start breeding. We got more hay going. We got to do some foliar feeding on the hay. Oh, nobody's even here at this point. I'll save it all for the next video. Guys, thank you very much for watching.